Hello and welcome to In the Court of the Wenton, Knave. All of Zappa is being done. We're on the home stretch now, although you wouldn't think it. I mean, in terms of number of minutes of music still left, there's lots, but only a few albums. Today we are doing Guitar. The follow-up to Shut Up and Play Your Guitar. We've got another 2 CDs worth of solos, so round the same length as the whole Shut Up and Play Your Guitar trilogy, and there's a lot of it. 32 tracks altogether, and that's 32 different solos from 79, from 81, from 82, from 84, overwhelmingly from 82 and 84. I think probably more from 84. I do get the impression he was playing better in 82. Maybe. I know the 82 tour didn't end well and he'd had enough of touring at that point and suggested he was giving up at that point. And maybe he didn't touch the guitar between those tours. Maybe that had an effect. You know, and then when he came back in 88 he probably had to pick up the guitar again and practice again. But yeah, I mean this comes out of him doing 8 solos a night, 5 times a week for 6 months. His reckoning was that would yield 20 good solos out of all of that. And the rest, it was his words, the rest were garbage. I'm sure fans wouldn't agree, I'm sure I wouldn't agree. So he only chose the best stuff for release. Let's say that again. Frank Zappa only chose the best stuff for release. I mean, just how much of the stuff is there? It says on the inlay, not recommended for children or Republicans, which I quite like. The other thing I quite like about the inlay is it tells you which guitar he's using on each track. So that's pretty cool. Most of it is on his custom Strat. I think that's the yellowy one. But also the Hendrix Strat, which I believe is the one Hendrix gave him that he used at Monterey, which he subsequently gave to Dweezil, I think. Let's start the tracks. There we go. So the first track is Sexual Harassment in the Workplace. This is from 81. It's bluesy kind of thing, nice and fluid. Tasteful use of the whammy, so he's doing his bends and sustaining the notes tastefully. He's not going wild, which is very nice. And that's on the Hendrix track. Track 2, Which One Is It? An 82 track. Something more mental in the same way that 555 opens up Shut Up and Play Your Guitar, craziness. Track 3, Republicans. It's made a sort of evil instrumental called Republicans. He didn't like Republicans. 84 track, evil chords, got to be the most evil reggae you'll ever hear. Brilliant. Track 4, Do Not Pass Go. From 82. It's like a relaxed jazzy blues, lots of sort of guitar texture, so there's the Hendrixy chordy things and that kind of thing, more about the texture of the sound, letting the notes ring. Track 5 is Chalk Pie from 82. Lots of sort of either dissonance or sometimes harmonic minor, Phrygian scales, that kind of thing, and more reggae. He likes his reggae in the 80s, which I kind of like. I mean, generally I love the 80s live stuff, but I don't know, I have a little bit of reservations about that maybe. Track 6, In-A-Gadda-Stravinsky, is In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida riff on the bass. Oh, this is from 84, I should say, which is not credited. And lots of fast drums over sustained guitar with that riff on the bass. It's strange it's not credited because obviously Frank was very good at that and he was big on that. Credited everything correctly. So, track 7 is That's Not Really Reggae. From 84, isn't it? It sounds like reggae to me, I don't know. A bit average. Track 8 is When No One Was No One from 82. A bit meandering and sort of down. It's okay. Track 9 is Once Again Without the Net. This is from 84. Right at the start, at one point, I actually thought it was Vi. I actually thought it was Steve Vai. And of course he's not in the band, it's 84. Lots of spacey sounds and it's kind of a march. It's a nice bit of playing there. Track 10 is Outside Now. Not a new version of Outside Now, this is the original solo of Outside Now from 79. There's only 2 tracks on here from 79. And it's actually a City of Tiny Lights solo. It'd be nice to hear the whole track actually. The final version, I should say, is better. Number 11, Jim and Tammy's Upper Room from 82. Heavy rock blues thing, nice and riffy, really good. Track 12, Were We Ever Really Safe in San Antonio? From 84, a little pensive one but with lots of notes, so that's cool. Track 13, That Old G Minor Thing Again. Now That Old G Minor Thing Again is the secret Carlos Santana chord progression. Back again, so it's just another performance of that, so that's pretty cool. You can never go wrong with a bit of G minor. Track 14 is Hotel Atlanta Incidentals. From 84, bit aimless, nice sustain. 15 is That's Not Really a Shuffle. From 82. This is heavy harmonic minor stuff, so nasty bit of playing, very good. Track 16, Move It or Park It, from 82. And you got a bit of sustain using the whammy again to do the bends. And then it just explodes with notes, which is very good, one of the better tracks, really good. Track 17, Sunrise Redeemer from 84. A cool little motif and some fast playing over it basically. Very good. Disc 2 we're on to now. This is 2 CDs worth of solos. Variations on the Sinister 3. That's the Sinister Footwear third movement. The orchestral piece which was never released. I'm told it was performed though, and I did say earlier that it wasn't performed. It was performed but he didn't think it was good enough for release. It should be released obviously. I particularly like the second movement actually, but the third movement was originally a guitar solo, which is on Who I Want You Is, This is more recognisable as the orchestral piece, in case you've heard the orchestral piece, as the one on You White You is actually the original improvised solo he got the melody from, I think. So this is after it's been performed, this is the band playing Sinister Footwear, the movement in a way. So that's pretty cool. Track 2, Orrin Hatch on Skis, from 84 as well. Previous track was 84 as well. A bit of bouncy reggae, lots of fun. Track 3, But Who Was Fulcanelli, or Fulcanelli, from 82. It's one of those pensive and relaxed, but loads of whittle, for want of a better word. Don't really like using that word, but it's an easy way of describing lots of notes. Track 4 is For Duane, from 84. It's basically your classic blues riff, the stuff. There's some nice pentatonic playing from Frank, so that's great. Great bit of blues. Track 5, GOA, a bit aimless and spacey, that one from 84. 6, Winos Do Not March, from 84. Sometimes the riff is more interesting than the solo, and I think that's true here. I think it's an interesting riff, but the solo itself. Yeah. Track 7, Swans. What Swans? From 81. Nice relaxed stuff, but lots of chords. In much like your Zootalaws and things like that kind of vibe. So that's pretty cool. It may well be a Zootalaws solo. I don't actually know where the solo comes from. Let us know. Track 8 from 81. Too Ugly for Show Business. Kind of reggae country kind of thing going on. That's pretty cool. Track 9, Systems of Edges. This is the only other track from 79 as well as Outside Now. It kind of doesn't fit with the rest of the album because you can hear it's recorded on different equipment. The sound quality isn't as good. So there's a bit of a jump there. It's very typical Zappa, very, very typical Zappa solo from that era and from sort of cheeky booty type stuff. It sounds very familiar, so maybe this is actually from something and I've missed something. Track 10 is Do Not Try This at Home, from 82, very noisy. Track 11, Things That Look Like Meat, a bit of reggae, from 81. Track 12, Watermelon in Easter Hay, from 84. It is just a new version of Watermelon in Easter Hay. You can never get enough versions of Watermelon in Easter Hay, and I think there's only 2, don't quote me on that. So that's excellent. I mean, technically that's the best thing on the album by default, because it's Watermelon in Easter Hay. Homeward Stretch now, track 13 is Canadian Customs from 84. Evil, heavy thing, harmonic minor scales, very good. 14, Is That All There Is from 82, bit meandering, it's alright. 15, It Ain't Necessarily the St. James Infirmary. This one's got an asterisk next to it because it's not a Zappa composition entirely. It's actually arranged by Zappa, but it's actually Gershwin. Didn't think I'd ever hear about Frank doing Gershwin, but there you go. And so ends the guitar album. He did say, following the 88 tour, he had enough solos to make one more guitar album, which sadly never happened. But there you go. See you next time.